So I'm an English speaker teaching myself Cantonese, and I had a lot of questions. And if you're like me, you probably did too, because this language is challenging, particularly when it concerns its many romanization standards, which is to say, taking a non-Latin based language and turning it into something that is intelligible to a Latin-based language, such as English. Because I can't read Chinese characters, but I can read English characters, which are mostly derived from Latin and Greek characters. Which brings us to one of the more common systems for English speakers learning Cantonese, and that is the Yutping system, which is the system of taking Roman characters and attaching Arabic numerals to them to represent the different tonal inflections in Cantonese. I know, that's crazy cool, right? The cultural exchange is fascinating, I'll tell you what. Anyway, as a generally inquisitive person and someone who finds themselves asking, well, why is it called that? Very often, I needed to know, where does Yutping come from? Because that word doesn't sound anything like the word Cantonese. And furthermore, where does the word Cantonese come from? Well, you better buckle up because this is a wild ride. So it starts off with a tiny history lesson and maybe a geographical one as well. But basically, Portuguese traders were trading in the city of Guangzhou in the province of Guangdong, and them not having the language facilities to pronounce Guangdong were calling that area Canton. So the language to the native speakers of that area in their native language is Guangdonghua, which is literally to say Guangdong language. But see, that's not what the Portuguese traders called the language, because the Portuguese traders called their language
Português.
they called the Canton language Cantonese. So that's really cool. Cantonese is a mistranslation from Portuguese traders in Guangzhou, mistranslating the language of the people there. And because Portuguese is a Latin language, that's how I, a speaker of a descendant of a Latin language, acquired the term Cantonese. Okay, cool, but where does Yutping come from? Well, it gets even cooler. Because Guangdonghua is a branch of the Sinitic languages called Yut, specifically Yut. And the system for phoneticizing those languages has a name too. It's called Pinyin. I believe there's a functional equivalent in Mandarin. It's called Pinyin. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Pinyin.
Pinyin. I was close. Anyway, it turns out that Yutping is a portmanteau of the words Yut and Pinyin, which looks like this. Whoop! Isn't that so freaking cool?